All right, time to learn a couple tricks with everybody's favorite magic prop, cards. Alright, so the first thing you're going to learn, you're going to notice my head is cut off. You don't need to see my face for this. I know it's beautiful, but here we go. By the way, these are bicycle. They're robo-cycle. What you're going to learn is how to do a shooting of the card out of the deck like that. It's just fancy. It just makes you look fancy. It makes you look like you know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, woo! Oh, he can shoot it. Oh, and he can catch too. Oh, and he can throw it back on the deck perfectly. Oh, he must be amazing. You have to be holding the cards in mechanics grip. If you still don't know what mechanics grip is, your thumb is going to be on the right. You're going to use your left hand to do it. Your left hand almost always does mechanics grip. Your thumb goes on the left-hand side of the deck, your 3 fingers on the other, and then your first finger on top. What's literally going to happen is you're going to push, well, let me get this in good view. You're going to push the card down. Your pinky is going to come over and bend and squeeze the card. And what's going to happen is, as you push down with your pinky, this corner is going to pop off and the card will fly. The pinky, push down, use the pinky, you bend. It's going to shoot off of the edge of your pinky there. You just bend until your pinky clears the card, which just means you're aiming to touch your palm. Once you do that, the card will just fly off. Also, when you hold the deck, you don't keep it perfectly parallel to the ground. You tip it up a little bit towards yourself, and what that'll do is it'll make it arc. So it's almost like a boomerang. It's going to kind of come back towards you. It'll shoot up in the air and come back a little bit. To get the card back, you're going to do a little one of these. Oh, and this one I'm pretty much probably going to have to show you how to do from the heads down view. So the second way, so now to get the card back onto the deck, when you first start doing this, you're going to want to do 1 revolution. When you get better, you can do 2 or 1.5 once you get it a little bit more controlled. Just like that. So the way this works is you're going to hold in your hand. Normally when you hold it with your left hand, you've probably learned that you'd use biddle grip, but you're going to hold it in almost a mechanics grip again. But what's going to happen is the card's going to sit on the middle finger ridge there, that line. That's where the card is going to sit on. At the same time, your thumb is just going to hold it with your other hand. Your first finger, rather than being on top, is going to go underneath and push the card, giving it a little bit of a bend. And that first finger is going to extend all the way. It's going to push the card out. And again, you're going to want to start with just 1 flip. You want to get 1 flip down. It's just a fancy way of shooting the card from one hand to the other and then putting it back. Look at this, my shirt vanished. All right, just make sure that when you're learning how to do this, practice, practice, practice is the biggest thing. The way I practice is I'll hold my hand out where I want the card to go. To make this look as impressive as possible, you want as little movement. So I'll hold my hand out in one position and try to get the card to fall in that position rather than have my hand go to the card. It looks a little bit fancier if you don't move your hands. When you practice returning the card, your hands are actually going to be down here at your waist. I'm not going to readjust the camera, so just make sure that you practice, practice, practice. For a long time, I only ever did 1 flip because it was fast, and I didn't think of it as really all that impressive. So 2 flips looks a little bit more pretty. So now for an actual sleight of hand trick. This will take you some time to learn. This is a good one. You make a card disappear and come back. So what I'm doing is I'm holding the card with my right hand, with my middle finger on the front, my first finger on the back. If I curl in my fingers, the card ends up parallel to the floor. What I then do is I take my thumb and I put it on the card. Now my hands aren't that big, so if your hands aren't that big, don't worry about it. You all have the same problem I do, which is you're just going to need to bend the card. That's it. So when your thumb comes over, you're just going to bend it a little bit and hold it there. From the front, it looks like this. So what you're doing is you're bringing it in and your thumb disappears. So make sure when you start this, keep your thumb down to begin with. Put that in your brain, because then you don't have the sudden disappearing thumb, because then they're going to know immediately what is holding it. And what I do with this hand is I come over and I pretend to grab it. At the same time, I point to this hand and make it disappear. So slow, it looks really bad, but fast, it looks like that. And then to make it come back, see how my fingers curl back in? I curl my first finger back in to grab the card and push it out immediately when I blow. So I go, gone, back. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, practice, 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 and subscribe.